But remember, Maggie.
Go.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the IIBA webinar on My Business Analysis Certification Journey. This webinar is being hosted by the IIBA SA Johannesburg region. Thank you for choosing to spend your evening with us and enjoy the presentation. So my name is Cecilia. I will be your host today. I have a co-host. Her name is Lesiho, and we also have our panelists, Margaret and Seboka. So before we get into details of everything, I would first like to lay down some ground rules for us. So please make sure that you stay muted unless you are cleared to talk. Switch off your video. Only the presenters will be allowed to switch on video, and kindly note that our presentation will only take just 45 minutes, and we will also have a few minutes to also go through your questions. And once we declare that we are no longer taking questions that you've posted on the chat, please relax and forward your questions to the email, and then we will forward them to the presenters where you will get feedback from them. Unfortunately, we cannot share our presentation today, but we will make sure that we upload it on the YouTube page of our IIBA SA. And in order to become a member and to follow up on future events, please make sure that you visit our website and also register there as a member. Thank you again for joining us. Enjoy the presentation. Cool, so I'm sure you're wondering what's on the agenda today. So firstly, we'll get to share about the benefits of getting certified. And once we know the benefits, we would like to hear from the horse's mouth, people who have been certified, have gone through the journey and have started reaping the benefits. So they will tell us more about their certification journey, and we will also get to understand the different certifications that are offered by the IIBA SA. And we will also have a Q&A session by going through your questions. Kindly post all your questions in the comments section in the chat box. Cool. So what is IIBA certification? As we all know, IIBA is a body that is mostly focused on ensuring that we as business analysts are adhering to the standards of business analysis. So that is why it is dedicated to making sure that we as BAs and the profession, we stick to what we need to do in the business space. And it also adheres to making sure that we practice the business analysis accordingly, which is why it is offering a multi-level based certification, which we will talk about today, discussing the different levels of which certifications you can go for in order to make sure that you are applying all the knowledge, competences of the business analysis journey. So before I move forward, I would like to share with you the benefits of why you should become certified. Obviously, it's all about you in this, your personal development. You will grow as an individual. Apart from all the benefits that you will reap in terms of getting the actual certification, you will grow in knowledge as an individual. You would have personally developed yourself. And the other thing, you would be the star, because people will know that you are certified, which means you know exactly what you are doing. So it will make people see you as an expert in your field. And again, it will up your salary, because research has shown that people who are certified are regarded as the best, and therefore they are recognized on their competencies and they are rewarded as such. And you would also get to grow in your career. Obviously, when you start, you will get your entry certificate, and then as you grow and do all the other certifications that are provided by the IIBA, you will grow in your career as well. So before I continue, I would like you guys to meet our panelists and get to hear their stories. Lesiho, over to you.
Evening, everybody who has joined us. I'm so excited this evening to be interviewing two extraordinary individuals. We have here Maggie and Seboka. And before we can just go into details about their personal journey into certification, we would just like to introduce you guys to them. So Maggie, she has been in the financial industry for more than 20 years. She has worked on various projects within the financial industry. She has been working on banking projects, on mobile internet banking, robotics, data, investments, administration, and procurement of IT equipment, just to name a few. If you have met Maggie in person, you know that she's a very lovely person and lively person and very caring, you know. One of the things that we don't know about Maggie is that she gets bored easily and she loves traveling. The one thing that she would like to do before she dies is to write a book to inspire others. And Maggie, she is a senior business analyst. She is certified in CBAP, and she is also recertified. And then we have our youngest person in the panel. We've got Seboka here with such an interesting background, you know. He's from a financial or accounting background, you know. He is currently a business analyst student at FTI, and he's a graduate trainee at CBAP. He started to actively pursue business analysis when he realized that there were so many ways to present an audit of financial statements. He's got a strong inclination to elicit requirements from people and organization and devise strategies aligned with goals. What he loves to do, he loves to exercise, he loves to look at expensive motorcycles that he is yet to get to buy, you know, in the near future. He also loves waffles. He aims to consult business on how to squeeze as much juice, you know, out of an orange without rendering it useless after the fact. So those are our two panelists. Seboka, he is certified in ECBA. And now we're just gonna get into understanding the journey of certification, their personal journey. And we've just got a few questions that we're just gonna answer there. We just have a few questions that we're going to ask them that are related to their personal journey. And I'm just gonna start with Margaret. It's very important, and I'm sure with people who have joined the call to want to know why. Why did you choose certification, Maggie? Why did you choose to be certified?
Thank you, Leseko, and good evening, everybody. I am really happy today because you have chosen to join us tonight. What you're going to hear tonight is not a testimony. It's my step-by-step personal journey that I went through to get certified. Every person's journey is different. What motivates you to do what you do is different from every person to the next. My motivation and decision to choose CBAP was because I was already working as a business analyst anyway. So I wanted to align to international standards so that it can open up a lot of career opportunities for me. If you have read, and some of you have read the BA book, handbook, you will realize that it gives you like a streamlined approach to business needs. I also wanted to be more analytical and strategic in my approach to business problems. At that time, I wanted to work overseas as well. So that decision was like right for me. So becoming certified was just the next step in my learning process. However, what really enforced my desire to get certified was when I was selected to attend a BA seminar by my company's Center of Excellence. Those that know Nedbank very well, we've got a Center of Excellence for our BAs. So I was just fortunate to be one of the people that they chose to attend the BA seminar in Cape Town. You know, with the seminar going to Cape Town, there are a lot of logistics that requires money. So I was actually fortunate in that aspect. So when I was at the seminar, they had a lot of speakers on business analysis, and that was a catalyst on its own to dispel any doubts that I might have had. CBAP is actually good thing. My boss, I think, is here. I hope he doesn't hear highly marketable skills, and I am competitively competent, and the skills that I have acquired add value to what I do on a daily basis. CBAP has given me the skills to compete worldwide as a BA. Thank you, Lesego.
Thank you, Maggie, for sharing with us, about Joy. And just, let's just get to Seboka to understand his why. I mean, from his interesting background of accounting and finding himself in business analysis, why did you decide to be certified?
Hello, everyone. Firstly, I'd like to thank the panel for affording me this opportunity to share my story. I have 3 reasons why I joined, why I became a member of the IIBA, and why I ultimately decided to get certified. And as Lesego has alluded to, I have an undergraduate degree in accounting, and so having that unique background really pushed me to say I want something that will show people and organizations that I am capable of being a business analyst. I have the skills, I have the knowledge, and I just want to be able to practice. And so the other reason is to expand my knowledge. And the other one was to be able to network and get mentors, or be able to network with people who have like-minded career goals as I do. And at the time, I did not know not even one single business analyst, because my circle consisted of people who were in investment banking, chartered accountancy, auditing, and all that. And so I really needed a space to be able to network with business analysts. That's why I decided to become a member. And the other one was to expand my knowledge and to be able to learn new concepts in business analysis and the knowledge areas, the 6 knowledge areas. And the final one was to be able to have a piece of paper or have something from an organization that has authority to say, hi, I know I have a unique background, but I am also as capable as other individuals in the field. Thank you.
Wow, guys, I mean, this is so interesting. And I think now, with any journey, I'm sure there were some obstacles, Maggie and Seboka, that you guys have faced. Can you share with us, some of the challenges that you faced during your certification journey and some of the support that you also received during the process? Max?
Thank you, Lesego. Thank you, Lesego. When I was finally ready to start the certification journey, there were a few hurdles along the way. Some of the challenges I encountered were finding a certified BA to give me a reference. Although there were many, they were not really willing to give a reference. And also finding a sponsorship for my CBAP exam preparation. For example, FTI actually runs a CBAP prep bootcamp, and that costs a little bit of money, I think over 20,000 rand. 20,000 rands now. And also during that time, I lost my brother unexpectedly, and that shook me emotionally, and it took a long time for me to recover. However, I always believe where there's a will, there's a way. Somehow the universe provided me with the means I needed. I found a certified BA who also subsequently became my mentor. I also found somebody that provided me with the bootcamp material. This helps in building the knowledge and understanding I needed to successfully prepare for the exam. Because in order to properly practice for the exam and increase your chances of success, you need to register for an online study exam as well. It just happened that when I was ready to pay for the online exam, my option was to pay for the 30-day access, which was too expensive considering I only had a few days to use it. However, that didn't stop me. I did what a good BA does, I negotiated. So I wrote to Watermark Learning to ask for a reduced prorated fee for at least a week or two, even though I only had like maybe 4 or 5 days to write the exam. Out of nowhere, they came back and gave me the free access. I was very grateful for their kindness. This kindness not only helped me to practice the CBAP online exam, but it was a great motivator for me to pass the exam. It gave me the push I needed to study harder and pass. It's these random acts of kindness that have an impact to change people's lives for the better. So the resources actually that helped me to prepare, it was the BA handbook version 3.0, and there's also, I'm displaying it. I don't know whether you guys can see it. And there's also Watermark Learning called CBAP, I think Certification Study Guide. This Watermark Learning provides a structured way to study, especially the acronyms, and it also helps you to remember the inputs of and outputs for all the knowledge areas. The Watermark Learning online study exam, I went through it over and over for 4 days. So it's like simulated exam questions. They help you to prepare, so you can go over them like a couple of times, and it will tell you how you are doing, when you are answering the exams. So it will show also, like, give you some kind of a report to show you where your weakness is and what you can do. So you go back and actually, go through your knowledge areas and improve on that. So it just helps with the actual examination. Thank you, Lesego.
Thank you, Maggie. I think we wanted to see the material that you were showing us. We couldn't see anything from our side.
Okay. Yeah, I think my video was, okay. I'll show you later on.
All right.
When I get to talk, I'll keep it with me. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Maggie, for sharing, some of those challenges and the support system that you also received during your journey. Seboka, can you just tell us about some of the challenges that you faced and some of the support that you also received, during your journey?
Yes, definitely. And perhaps let me start by painting a picture of where I was in life at the time. I had just recently graduated, so I was really unemployed. There were no fancy titles of student and all that. So I didn't really have a source of money other than that which I was making through my side businesses. And I wanted to get certified. I knew the figures that I had to accumulate and the exchange rates and all that. And so since at the time I didn't really have a stable source of finance, I had to go back home to my mother and really just plead and ask her for the money. And funny thing is, when I actually went back home, I had a cost to benefit analysis already mapped out to be able to present to her the benefits that will flow to me and ultimately to her after I get certified, and how that would in turn increase my employability. And so really my greatest impediment to getting certified or becoming a member was finance. And so luckily, my mother was there to help me out, to help me sort that out. And so the journey started for me to really get certified and to start studying for the exam, for the actual exam. And so that required a few things. There were a few hassles with special regards to study material, because that's not readily available anywhere. So I really had to search and harass Google and find a few sites that I used. I remember I paid for one package that assisted me greatly, and I had access for about 3 months to prepare for the exam. And there were a few other sites that were available that I was using, but from them, I took sample quizzes, and that's about 10 questions, 10, maybe 15 to 20 questions that you can use to prepare yourself for the exam. And that was not very extensive for me, hence I had to fork out a bit of cash to be able to get the full package and really prepare for the exam. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Seboka and Maggie. You know, what I'm taking from this talk and this conversation is that, you know, with random kindness from people close to us and strangers, to help us assist to achieve the necessary goal that we want to achieve, it's something incredible that you guys have experienced. And, you know, with any journey, obviously there's a time that you think about your journey and actually then taking that leap of faith and actually going through it. Nikki, can you just tell us about, you know, the time, you know, from the time that you actually started to think about you wanting to be certified up until the time that you actually wrote the exam? How long did it take you?
Thank you, Leseko. The actual studying, you know, for the exam took me less than a month, you know, like of actual serious studying. However, it probably took me more than a year and a half from the time I started investing in the actual preparation for the CBAP certification to the time I finally wrote the exam. There's a process that goes in getting certified. Once I made the decision to get certified, I had to gather all the documentation that was and information that was needed, you know, for the application to write the actual examination. So I captured and tracked all the projects that I had worked on an Excel spreadsheet, including the hours spent on each project. I listed all my stakeholders, you know, for the projects that I worked on. Putting everything down, you know, like made me realize that I had worked on more projects than I thought and did more hours than was needed. This negated the need for me to write an entry-level certification. What I actually discovered throughout the whole process was the application process to write the CBAP takes long, very long. The process is actually not for the faint-hearted. You need to be dedicated, and this will test your patience and commitment. You need to view it as creating your own professional portfolio. So you can start early, you know, like just put everything down. If your ultimate goal is to get certified, whatever project you work on, you know, like just try and track it and see how long it takes you, what did you do in those projects, and also align it to the knowledge areas that are in the BA book. However, if you go through, I mean, like if you get through the process, you will be like more than halfway towards becoming certified. The certification needs really dedication and commitment. Once the application process is done, you need to work on your BA book, handbook, and you also need the Watermark Learning CBAP certification study guide. If you're fortunate enough to find to afford the bootcamp, I would definitely recommend it. It's usually run by FTI. Thank you, Leseko.
Thank you, Max. And Seboka, on your side, you know, what was that time frame from the thought and to the reality now writing the exam?
Thank you very much for that, Lesego. The first time when inception stage, or when the seed was planted to actually join the IIBA, was the time when I was on a call with a consultant from UCT talking about the business analytics course that they had recently launched that I wanted to do and complete. And so I was asking him, after completing this course, what do I do? What do I need to do to increase my chances of employability? How do I stand out from the rest of the crowd being everyone who's actually looking for a job? And that's when he told me about the IIBA. And immediately after that moment, I just looked into the IIBA, and at that point, I did not have any inclination to become a member. However, shortly after I had completed the course, I went back and looked through the IIBA and the certifications they have and what they require, which ones I'm actually eligible for. And I found that the ECBA is the actual one that I qualify for, and it's actually the best fit for a person of my criteria, for lack of a better word, because I have a unique background as opposed to everyone else or most people in the field, in the business analysis field. And so September, that is when I got the funds to actually apply for the exam and actually pay to become a member. And so from September to November, because November 24th, that's when I got certified. So it didn't take me more than 3 months.
Wow. And you know what? I think this goes to everybody who's in the call who has not been certified, who's just thinking about it, that there is no better time than now to actually start with your planning and making sure that your thoughts become that reality. And you know what, now I'm just going to back to Maggie. You know, Maggie, you have been recertified. Can you just tell us why? You know, you could have just decided not to recertify, but you did it. And can you kindly then share with us some of the process that you went through?
Thank you, Leseko. Yes, I recertified because I'm a business analyst, Leseko, and business analysis is my profession. I have a professional license, and with every professional license, you need to renew it. You need to keep up to date with what is going on in the industry you are in. Just like any profession, imagine having a doctor who doesn't even understand that there is COVID-19 now. You know, just like any profession, business analysis has evolved. There are specialists within the field. If you notice, there's cybersecurity analytics, there's data analytics, there's product owners, just to name a few. And we need to be aligned in all these areas. It's exciting that we are in this field. We love it. We keep up with the times. We never get bored. We are business analysts. We also like to keep up with the new blood, like your Sebokas here. So we have to stay relevant. After 3 years, you need to recertify. But you don't have to wait for 3 years to do that. You know, for CBAP recertification, you require a total of 60 CDUs. This is a continuous development units that you get from a different number of activities or events. I think there are like 6 events. That is your professional development, your work history, professional activities, volunteer services, self-directed learning, formal academic education. Like, for example, I've got a BCom information systems. So if I decide to do MBA, it will actually count as 30 units. But I don't need all those 30 units. I can get maybe 10 from each of the events that I've highlighted. And then it's enough for me to actually qualify to recertify. Thank you, Leseko.
Yes, wow. So it looks like, you know, you'll be by my side when I then start my journey of recertification very soon. Then let's just understand, you know, from our panelists, you know, where to from here. I mean, we've talked about being certified. We've talked about our journeys, you know, throughout the certification process. You know, Seboka, where do you see yourself in the next, you know, 3 to 5 years from now?
In the next 3 to 5 years, I'd say the next three, I see myself having written the CCBA certification exam, the CBDA exam, the Certified Business Data Analysis exam also, and the Certified Product Ownership Analyst exam too. So just to be able to really start making my way towards the CBAP qualification and designation, which has a lot of benefits to it. And I, as everyone else can imagine, I it comes with a lot of coins, and I'm sure Maggie can attest to that.
Yeah, that's true, I'm sure. And Maggie, over to you. You just tell us where to from here. Some interesting things coming up your way in the next 3 to 5 years.
Yes, indeed. I have my eye on the CBDA certification. I'm actually currently working in the data environment, and this course will be ideal for my current role. I always say with any investment in yourself, you'll never go wrong. Even though the certifications cost a lot of money, somehow you also get compensated for having them. So yeah, maybe after that, I'll look at the cybersecurity one. There is a lot that one can do. Yeah, but for now, I'm actually going through the CBDA certification. Thank you, Lesego.
Wow, thank you, Maggie. It seems like there's no stopping here with our panelists, you know. We just want to go on and on and on, but hopefully we'll have them another time for them to actually share, you know, their next journey, you know, with whatever certification, like they have mentioned, that they'll be going through. And that has brought us to the end of our interview with our panelists. And now I would like to take it back to Sibongile, who would also then give us, you know, an overview of the type of certifications and the other information around the certifications. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lisiho, for such an insightful interview. I've really learned a lot. I am even more interested now in getting certified as a business analyst. So now we will move on to the IIBA certifications that we have on offer. I'm sure you're asking yourself, so which one do I qualify for? Where do I start? So keep posting your questions on the chat while I take you through the different certifications that are offered by the IIBA SA. So the first one is your ECBA certificate, which is your entry certificate in business analysis. Obviously, as I mentioned earlier, the certificates are competency-based and there are levels to this thing. As with many things in life, there are requirements for each certification. So for the first one, it's just the entry certificate whereby it recognizes people who are passionate about business analysis and are just entering the field of business analysis. Then the second one, which is your CCBA, which is your certificate in capability in business analysis. This one, you are now getting into the profession, you are getting into projects, and you have about 2 to 3 years experience of business analysis. Then you can go for this certification. And then the next one, which is your CBAP, the one that Maggie holds. So this one, you are now in the thick of things. You've been involved in a number of projects and you want to now be certified as a BA to show that you are recognized as a professional. You are able to manage and lead projects. So you've gained the experience. Now you can get the next belt, which is level 3. So moving on, there are other certifications that are offered by the IIBA, which are short certificates. So the first one that we have is your Agile certification, which is a certificate in Agile analysis. This one is when you are in an Agile field, you are working with Agile projects and you just want to make sure that you are doing your best. So this one will strengthen your skills and expertise, focusing on applying your skills in the business analysis field as an Agile BA. Then the next one that we have is the CBDA that Maggie is going for next. So this one is a certificate in business data analytics. So this certificate recognizes your ability to effectively execute analysis related work to support business in analytics. We don't stop there, guys. There are other certificates that are offered by the IIBA. So we do have the certificate in cybersecurity. But this one, the IIBA partnered with the IEE Computer Society, and they have offered a certificate that will give you a certification program in cybersecurity analysis. Then the next one that we have is the CPOA, which is your certificate in product ownership. So this one allows you as a BA to have that knowledge of product ownership and that business analysis certificate knowledge as well, because there is a very thin line between product ownership and business analysis, as we've all come to realize. So this one will maximize your knowledge and also help you to maximize your value when you are applying your skills in the business analysis profession. So I'm sure you are all asking yourself, so what does it take for me to get the certificate? So we've had Maggie highlight a few pointers around the hours she went through when she was preparing for the exam exam, the information she needed to capture. So this table here that I have here offers you a brief overview of what you need. So for the entry certificate in business analysis, you just need to have about 21 hours in the last 4 years. In the last 4 years. So you need the exam structure is 1 hour long, and it has 50 multiple choice questions, and the questions are single sentence questions. And these questions, they just test your knowledge around the business analysis. Then for the certificate in capability in business analysis, as I mentioned earlier, so with this one, you are now 2 years in the field. And the questions are multiple choice as well. They are scenario based, and it also tests your competency in business analysis. Then the certified business analysis certificate, which is the CBAP. This one you need about a maximum of 150 to 200 hours to prepare, depending on yourself, of course. So these are just estimates. And for you to take the exam, it's normally about 3 to 5 hours long, and it has 120 multiple choice questions. They are all case study based, so you will need to analyze case studies and then apply your knowledge and select your multiple choice answers. Then the Agile one is about 2 hours long, and it also has 85 multiple choice questions. So as you can see, most of these questions, exams are like multiple choice questions, but you need to apply your knowledge, which is why you need to get your hand, you need to get a hold of the Babak book, which has all the knowledge-based information for us. So moving on now, I know that what it takes for me to take the exam, what hours I need, and I know that I need to prepare for multiple choice questions. I know that I need to know the knowledge-based questions. What next? How do I prepare for certification? So the first step that you need to do is choose the certification that suits your needs. What are your goals? What are your career goals? And where are you in your career? Then the next step is for you to learn about your exam certification. So here you need to ensure that you understand the basics of what the exam will be about. Review the competencies and see what type of questions will be asked. Then the next one is you begin to prepare for your exam. Now that you know what the exam is all about, you study your books, you practice, you do the practice exams as Maggie and Seboka mentioned, to test your knowledge and align with the certification that you need to do. Now that you've done all that, your last step is to register and take your exam. Taking your exam, then you would need to register for that specific exam, get a date, and there you go. You're going to do your exam. It's time to take your exam. So I've done the exam, I've gotten the qualification. What next? How do I make sure that I know everything in the business analysis space? How do I make sure that I'm still on top of my game 3 years later or a year later? You need to recertify. How do I recertify? You need to attend events that are organized by the IIBA, and they have CPDUs attached to them, so that you can accumulate that knowledge and accumulate the points for you in order for you to get recertified. If you want to know more information about recertification and what you need to do if you want to recertify, you can visit the website. There is a lot of information there. You can also get information about which centers are created to offer these exams and also offer you with preparing for your exam. So I think we've given you enough information, and there is more information on the website. You can visit the IIBA.org for more information on certification, how to become a member, and all the resources that you can get from there. So moving on, I think it's time for us to go to our questions. Lesijo, did we receive any questions?
Yes, we have a lot and lots of questions. And one question coming from Annalisa, and she is asking Maggie, did you pass the CBAP on the first attempt? And how long of time would you say one needs to prepare for the exam? I think the second questions you've answered. Can you tell us, Maggie, if you did, everything went well, on the first attempt?
Yes, because I had taken a lot of time to prepare for the exam. And, like I had breaks in between. Yes. And then do you want me to the second question? The second question was how long it took me to prepare. It was like less than a month, and I was still, like I was working. So I just dedicated maybe 3 or 4 hours a day. And then weekends, like I had enough time to actually prepare for the exam. Yeah, it depends on how you want to do it. Some people, they just take 1 week off and they do do nothing but study for the exam. Thank you, Lesego.
Thank you, Maggie. We have another question here from, is it Teshan? I hope I'm saying it correctly. And I think, Mick, you've also answered here, how many years into BA career did you become CBAP certified? Also, can you tell us about what proof of work you needed to supply in order to prove eligibility?
Yeah, I think I said it earlier. All you need to do is you need to capture the hours. Because they'll ask you like how many hours did you spend on, aligned to each and every knowledge area. So for me, I did that on my spreadsheet with every project that I had worked on. So it was easier when I started with the application because I just transferred what I had on my Excel spreadsheet. And with every, so you need a minimum of, I think, about 900 hours for 4 of the knowledge areas. At least 900 hours for 4 of the knowledge areas. And then, but all of them, there must be, I think it's a maximum of 7,500 hours that you need for you to qualify to write the exam.
Oh, thank you, Maggie. I hope you are answering all the people who have asked the questions and they're happy with your answers. I'll go to the next question as well. We've got Baring. He's asking, where can I find a good institution to assist me with my certification journey? How can I get a mentor and be a reference? Seboka, would you like to take this one?
Yes, sure. Well, a good place to start that'll train you properly to be able to write the exam. For ECBA, I know the Faculty Training Institute is quite good, and Maggie did mention that they have a boot camp going for just over 20K. And getting a mentor, you can ask most people who have been certified and have IIBA on their LinkedIn profile. And that's what I did. I had no mentor. And that was one of the reasons why I actually joined the IIBA, to be able to network with business analysts. And so immediately after I got certified, on the day I started sending out emails and messages on LinkedIn to people who are affiliated with the IIBA. And so that's how I got my mentors. I have around 5 now, and they've been very good. Thank you, Lesego.
Oh, thank you. So I think, what you said is very interesting to say that. I think, when people look into LinkedIn and looking at people's profiles, you can easily get mentors, and don't be scared to ask anyone to become your mentor. Baring, I hope, Seboka gave you some light on the questions and the journey that you want to take yourself. And then we've got other questions from SC2, who's just then asking, what is required to be part of the IIBA community? And Seboka, I'll also give this one to you. What is required to be part of the IIBA community? I know you're also part of our community now. What was required to when you became part of our community? Maybe take us through your journey there.
Really, it's not really much that is required from you. I would say just be there, just be present, and you'll be able to become a member. There's a few guidelines, there's a few things you need to have done. I'm just now thinking of professional development hours because I'm thinking of certifications and all that. But just submit your application. It's an application like any other. You submit an application, you just populate it, and you'll be able to become a member. It's not really a long process, and they have very timely responses as well.
Perfect. And I think I would just add on to say that a good start, it's becoming part of this community, which is the IIBA Johannesburg community. You can get hold of us. We are on LinkedIn and we've shared our details with you. You know, when we started, this is just a good start for you. And once you become part of our community, then you're part of, you know, the South African community. And then before you know it, if you want to actually explore to become part of the international community, then you can do that. But this is home. This is a good start for you to become part of our community. And then, so I'm just also looking at the time and, you know, some of the questions, you know, I'm happy that we have been engaging, you know, a lot of people on the chats and also just, you know, giving them information. Thank you so much. And now I'll just go to Lavenia, who's asking, good evening all. I am currently studying towards my ECBA exam, as I would like to enter the BA industry. However, I found that it is difficult to get into business analysis industry if you have minimal experience, or if you do not start off in a graduate position. You know, does anyone have any pointers on getting into business analysis field without much experience? And as Seboka, I know with your experience, this would relate a lot to you, you know. Can you kindly just answer the question from Lavenia?
Yes, definitely. And this resonates very much with me because I was in your shoes literally just a few months ago. And for me, what worked for me is that I used to do a lot of virtual internships. You can find those on a website. It was what previously called Inside Sherpa, but it's now called Forage. I'll just drop the name in the chat so for you to see. But yeah, just do those courses, take courses from time to time, familiarize yourself with the different softwares that are needed or that you'll be using as a business analyst, and just look through the different job profiles. So if you see, for example, if you see a job profile on LinkedIn and you see that the required technical skills or the required skills maybe include certain softwares, just take those softwares down, look through the different applications, how common they are, and how many times they appear, so just so you can be able to pick up courses and train yourself on them. So you can also add them to your CV to become to stand out from the rest of the crowd.
Thank you so much, Seboka. I'm sure that meant a lot. You know, so now can we then move on to the next questions? We have a lot of questions still here in the chat. So there's a question that's asking, you know, how much does it cost for a person to how much does it cost for ECBA? And thank you so much, Marshall, for just assisting us with that, you know, close to $125 US. And, you know, we also have lots of information on the certification link that's also provided by TAPO in the chats, you know, that will give us a lot of information on how much, you know, each costs and in terms of application and exam. So I think then one of the questions that's very relevant, and that's what Mickey touched on, is from analysts to say, for how long is the CBAP valid, certification valid for? Mickey, this is for you.
Oh, it's valid for every 3 years you have to renew. So it's valid for 3 years. Like I previously said, you don't have to wait for 3 years. After you have been certified, you must just start being actively involved with the IIBA. It's kind of like giving back to the community. You know, there are volunteer services, there are professional activities that you can get involved in, and those counts towards your CDUs. Yeah, so it's kind of like you don't have to sit and wait until the 3 years are up. You must continuously get involved in the profession.
Yes, thank you so much, Maggie. It is indeed 3 years, you're right. And just then going to the next question from Eric. For the purpose of clarity, is ECBA, is it an entry stage for someone new to the field? And I think also Cecilia touched on this one. And this one, Seboka, can you answer this one to say, is ECBA entry stage for someone new to the field? I think you also resonate with this one.
Yes, it's for someone who's still new, who has little to no experience in the business analysis field. And I just maybe quickly want to answer another question that I saw in the chat. It's from Supuli, asking whether the ECBA certification is worth it. And yes, I can definitely say yes. Before I got certified, while applying for jobs and all that, you get those rejection emails, and it's just really just a rejection from the company. And I know most of the formats now that these rejection emails come in. But soon as I got certified, and shortly after that, the applications that I put through with my certification on them, they did not just come back with those rejection communications. They came back with rejection, but with explanations why I have been rejected. One was the position has been filled, or that position is no longer available anymore. And that is the reason why I'm being rejected for that particular position. So really, yes, it is worth it. It's very much worth it. It helped me a lot. And I can say with the ECBA, I don't want to make it a guarantee, but it really puts your leg in to getting an interview. It helps you a lot, especially with BA oriented roles, or just BA roles specifically.
Wow, thank you, everyone. I think it's time for us to close the questions. If there are more questions that are on the chat, Siho, I think we will share more feedback. The attendees can send the questions to the email, or we'll just extract them and add more to the comments when we post the webinar on YouTube. So if there's someone asking if we can share the presentation, definitely it will be shared on our YouTube page. So just make sure that you follow our page so that you can get to see the presentation there. Unfortunately, we can't share the presentation deck itself, but you can be able to review the webinar on YouTube. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And if you would like to know more about the IIBA, if you would like to join the community, you can follow us on Facebook. It's IIBA SA. All our Twitter handles are IIBA SA. And if you have further questions or need to get a hold of a mentor, we can also assist you with that. So you can send an email to johannesburg@southafrica.iiba.org. And you can also follow our YouTube page, as mentioned. That is where we will share our presentation. And I believe we could also post it on LinkedIn. So just follow all our pages and all our handles there. So thank you so much once again for joining our webinar. Thank you for choosing to spend the evening with us. Thank you and have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.